parks, and Fort Atkinson was one of them. And so they wanted us all dressed up and all of that. So
fun stuff.
We spent.
Do you work for the state park?
Nope, it's volunteer basis.
Ah.
My sister and I run basically what you would consider the gift shop on the weekends that we have historical weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And welcome everybody to this week's episode of Shop Talk, where we sit around and talk about our retail experience through various eras of history. Why, I recall in the Middle Ages when I was a vintner and I sold wine. No, I'm just kidding. We are here for Sword Coast Chronicles. It is the first Wednesday. It is the first Wednesday of the month, but it's also the first time this game has been on a Wednesday.
Aloha.
Oh, hello.
Favorite person?
Hello, my favorite gal.
Hello.
Welcome, Paul. So we have three of our players. We have Paul, we have Heather, we have Michael. We are expecting Ken and James to be along momentarily. And Ivy, Ivy may be able to join us tonight, and she may have a work conflict for part of the evening, or that may turn into a work conflict for all of the evening. So let's see. All right. Oh, okay. James just said that he's going to miss the first half. Yeah, Vernon is one of our players that was in the game for you.
Oh, okay.
So.
Who said what?
Yeah. So, all right. I have three players here. I want to wait for. Let's see. Let's just double check. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go grab a thing of water. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, Paul, Michael, how's everything going with you?
Good. Waiting on work to start sending me my equipment.
Nice.
They're sending you your mic and everything?
Yeah, they're sending me everything. I had 2 headsets, two mice in case one break, 2 monitors, their equipment, other stuff. Yeah, I'll be set up.
You have to return it afterwards, or you keep it?
I would, Lord forbid, I'd have to return, I think, 99% of that stuff.
Yeah, the way that typically works, the company will supply all of that equipment, and then part of your contract, if you're working from home, is that, it's company property because they purchased it, and then, they arranged for you to send it back, either when you separate from the company voluntarily or whatever the case may be, when you retire, however it goes. So that's usually the way that works.
I've had mixed experiences with that. Having to fund the bill myself sometimes to send it back and all sorts of things. That's what I was asking.
Most companies here, they pay the shipping both ways. Now you do get some people that want to try to hang on to that stuff, and so then they get charged for it if they leave their employment and they don't return company property. Because basically it's just like you stole a computer and equipment from the company, basically.
I've had to take down mice that are worth like £5 and then drive it down there myself because they get so goddamn pissy about it. But I'm sure this one will be fine, and that's the important thing.
Yes.
And I can't imagine they're sending you, thousands of dollars worth of equipment. So I think you'll probably be right.
Yeah, it's not nothing expensive. Like, they're going to go with cheap monitors and
Sure.
the cheapest that they can go with on stuff. Just that is the reason why they're sending you 2 headsets and 2 mice. Just in case one of them is broken in shipping or doesn't work,
Yeah. And things like headsets, just with normal wear and tear, the simple act of putting them on and taking them off, several times a day, every day, that causes fatigue to the components, the wires, the plastic, the frame, everything, and something eventually breaks. So they send you 2 of them, then you have a backup.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So, did we make a character sheet for that? I guess we did. Okay. Well, then, you guys keep talking. I'm going to do that, and then I will get us into the game when I finish with that. So, y'all talk.
I won £20 on a scratch card yesterday.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty great. I spent it immediately on pizza. 0 regrets.
And what?
I won £20 on a scratch card last night.
Oh, I got you on the
And you spent it on pizza.
I spent it on pizza immediately. Right, immediately straight from the train station, run 20 quid, walk to the pizzeria, gave them the money, give me the pizza.
That's fair.
Food me monkey now.
I want all the pizza. I want to subsist on pizza for the next 3 days. Give it to me. So that was fun. Yeah, I think other than that, just carrying on. That's my life. Not really much going on, I'm afraid.
I think the most I ever won on a scratch off was $100.
Same here, £100. Same number. That was the biggest I ever won.
I won a bunch together one night. Actually, it was the night of my 18th birthday.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. So I went to the, little 24/7, convenience store. It was after midnight. I just turned 18. Like, I can buy scratch off. So I bought probably like $10, $15 worth of scratch offs and walked away with $120.
Nice.
Luck was with me that night.
yeah,
That's
that's
your
nice.
18th.
That's like my Vegas story. First time I went to Vegas, I was there on work, and we were talking about retail. I was working for a major retailer, and we were opening the first store for the company in Las Vegas. And I was with the corporate training department, and basically another trainer and I were sort of the managers of the people from across the company that came in to train the new store staff. And so one of the first mornings at the hotel, I got the breakfast buffet. It was like a $4.50 buffet, and that was back in the times when you could get really good food very cheap in Las Vegas, because the food and the drinks were all kind of an afterthought. Everything else was focused on making money from the casinos. So I paid for my breakfast with cash, and I had 2 quarters. And on the way back to my room, there was a slot machine. I put the 50 cents in the 50-cent slot machine, pulled the handle, and I won like $150. And so then, they obviously, that was back in the day when it all pays out in coins. So it all spills out. So I had like 3 or 4 of these little buckets, and I just ran up to my room and put them in the top drawer of the dresser and had to go off to work. And then I spent like the rest of my time in Vegas. I just gambled based on that money that I won, and I said, okay, when I lose all of this, I'm done. and I spent so little time in the casinos that it took me the entire 2 weeks to get rid of the rest of the $150. So and it's like I broke even, but you know, it's like I had several hours of fun at, you know, based on what I won that first time. Okay, I think now we are going to see. There we go. Your item is in here, so I will need to go ahead and come on and put it there and put it there. All right, now you should see that in your journal.
I do.
All right, and welcome everybody to Sword Coast Chronicles. If you are normally used to us being here on a Thursday, you are not crazy. We have, in fact, switched nights due to a change in a player's schedule. And it is evident that it is taking a little bit of time for several of our players to get used to the fact that we're on a different night. As we have one player who had a work conflict they let us know about, another player who we know is going to be late because he's traveling out of state, and another player who is just now logging into the Roll20. So that means that I can go over and I can assign him his character since he didn't log in all week. So there we go. And perfect. All right. So now everybody should be able to control their character because everyone's character is in the game. Welcome, everybody. I am DM Galabond. This is Sword Coast Chronicles, and we are here with session 86 of our game. This is the first session that we are in the plane of Strixhaven, and it is the first time we are playing this game on a Wednesday night. I think, Ken, if you are on your phone or something, can you mute, because we're picking up a lot of background noise? Okay. All right, so last time the players had finished up. Ken? All right, there you go. All right. Last time the PCs had been in Maelstrom in the storyline of Storm King's Thunder, and they finished up a celebration along with King Hekaton and the members of his court and some of their giant and metallic dragon allies. And towards the end of the session, a very special guest popped in, that being Mordenkainen. And Mordenkainen brought a bit of a bittersweet gift to King Hekaton. He brought a scroll of resurrection so that King Hekaton could resurrect his long-lost wife, who had been killed by some treacherous small folk in a in a dastardly event that happened before the party came on the scene, and because of the timing of when she died, she was able to be resurrected. However, as soon as she was resurrected, Mordenkainen essentially told the king and his wife, well, if my proteges here don't take care of the job that they are supposed to do, your wife has a little less than a year to live. Okay, bye. And he teleported back out with the party. Because it seems like sometimes even Mordenkainen doesn't think things through. Doesn't have a way of dealing with the king with a lot of tact. So they showed up here in this area, which is a dean's building in the College of Lorehold in the at Strixhaven University, and it has been taken over by 3 of the legendary members of the Circle of 8. There are actually 4. There's Leomund, there's Mordenkainen, there's Tensor, and these gentlemen are here. Also, Adaluk is here, but Adaluk is feeling a bit under the weather. That is because both Tensor and Adaluk in their past have suffered deaths on Toril, and the same wasting disease that is going to start affecting King Hecaton's wife from the moment she was resurrected is also going to be affecting them. And in fact, they already have about 20 days worth of deterioration due Tensor and Adaluk. And the rest of the party then is about ready to start finding their way around the campus of Strixhaven. Mordenkainen has welcomed you in. You've met Leomund. You already were acquainted, or most of you were already acquainted with Tensor. He showed you the Cogwork Archivists, who are basically automaton librarians that keep everything tidy here in the library. And he welcomes you to Strixhaven. So what would you all like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Gosh.
I mean, so this Strixhaven place, right, is full of all these finger wagglers.
Yeah.
So that means that they must have really good finger waggling food. So, where's the canteen?
Oh, yes. There are several places that you might like to dine on campus. If you are looking for a place where you will find a lot of apprentice finger wagglers, you can usually find them over at the Firejolt Cafe. And then they also look at Falliger and at Bell and say, and if you're looking for a place that your songs and stories and everything might be very well received, you can go to the Bow's End Tavern. That is where a lot of the bards that come through Strixhaven go to perform, and it's also where they have concerts by the student body orchestra over there. But both of those have good food, and then every dean's oh, what am I trying to say? Every dean's hall in each of the colleges has its own kitchen, which has a kitchen staff, and has a small pub. Typically a quiet pub where you will find various professors and deans, having maybe a whiskey late in the day or an ale late in the day, and perhaps reading or looking over student assignments or things of that nature, or people having quiet contemplative discussions about some of the various philosophies of magic. But for places where you can rub elbows with more of the students and staff of the university, I would recommend either the Firejolt Cafe or the Bows Inn Tavern.
Interesting. So what else is there to see on this plane that might be worth our time? How long do we have here? I mean...
Then why are we here in the first place?
Well, Mordenkainen says, well, I'm glad you asked. And he rubs his hands together. He says, first of all, you've just slain an ancient blue dragon. Now that is a no small feat in and of itself. But more importantly, I trust that you have a share of the treasure hoard from that dragon. And that means that you probably want to get yourself outfitted for your next adventure. And it just so happens we do have several magic shops that are on the campus that see to the needs of adventurers such as yourselves. There is the Strixhaven Spirit Shop, which sells all sorts of miscellaneous magic items. There's the Strixhaven Scroll Works, which sells both divine and arcane scrolls. There's the Strixhaven Brew Labs, which sells all kinds of potions. There's the Strixhaven Forges, which sell magical arms and armor. And there's Strixhaven Reagents, which sells all manner of components that spellcasters need. So these shops do a bustling trade. They cater to the needs of the students. They cater to the needs of alumni. They cater to the needs of faculty who are both needing to teach and demonstrate, but also are going off to different parts of this world and other worlds in order to do magical research. So those places are all very well and good. And then also we have the Grand Biblioplex, where there are all sorts of libraries and everything. You can do some research on your own. And tomorrow, after you have had a proper long rest, I will be able to give you a briefing on some of the things that we know about Acererak, about the Forbidden City of Omu, where you will be headed, and about the Death Curse that you will be dealing with. More importantly, we have uncovered a way that you can cheat the Death Curse one time. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. For now, you have you have quarters that have been set aside for you on the upper floor of this building. They are not as spacious and as comfortable as the full dean's quarters are, and of course the deans here have graciously offered them to us as legendary spellcasters, but they are comfortable, and they will give you space to sort out what you need to sell, what you want to buy, how you want to get yourself equipped.
So what you're telling me is we've got a couple of days off because we did so good before, like a holiday?
I would say it's less of a day off than a well-earned working vacation.
So I can't get blackout drunk every night for the next couple of days?
Vacation.
No, getting blackout drunk every night would probably not be a good idea.
Okay, so just white out drunk, got it.
And he looks at the rest of you and says, "Is he always this way?"
Yes.
Only when I'm on holiday.
Oh, that's what a vacation is. Gotcha.
When you don't have to do anything like in the morning of the next day, you could just get really, really, really drunk the night before and have some fun. And then you can go shopping, and like you could go have some margaritas, and then you go shopping again, maybe go see family, stuff like that.
I must try this margarita thingy. Is that a woman?
No, what I meant was, but no, apparently it's a drink. I want to try one too. I bet these finger wagglers have them.
I'll have to find out.
Margarita. That sounds like it might be good. Says Mordenkainen. I wonder if anyone's made a drink named after me, the Mordenkainen. I'll have to go to the Firejolt Cafe and talk to one of the bartenders, see if they can make one up. Haha.
I lean over to Quandrix and I say in Dwarvish, like he really needs to inflate his ego anymore.
Maybe the alcohol will, drag it down a bit back to earth.
Doubt it.
So, you guys are sort of shown up to your rooms, and they are, in fact, very pleasant accommodations. Everybody has a closet. They actually have in each of the rooms, there is an indoor toilet. So indoor toilet and tub with actual running water. So they tell you how to operate the valves to get the water, either hot water or cold water. There's a sink, there's a commode, there's a tub, and they tell you how to operate the commode so that it gets rid of everything that you put in it automatically. And then they will tell you that the rest of the day is yours to spend as you please. They will have a meeting scheduled at the 3rd hour after sunrise tomorrow, where they will begin to go over some of the particulars about your upcoming mission with you. So that's kind of the only time they need you to be anywhere. And they give you let's see, I think it's in here somewhere. They give you they give you several maps. The first map they give you is the map of Lorehold College, which is where you are. And the Dean's Wing, where they have you now, is in this building here, which is built into the side of this canyon. And then the causeway heading back to the, let's see, does this have a compass on it? It doesn't, so I'm going to say that is heading back to the northeast. That causeway going in this direction is heading back towards the center of campus. And then they also have a map of the central campus. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit smaller so it's easy to see, and then we'll move the Okay, so this is the central campus, and the large building right in the heart of campus is the main library. The two eateries that he mentioned to you are the Bows Inn Tavern. That's where they have a lot of the music. And then the Firejolt Cafe is over here on the other side of the library. There's the Commons out here, and then there's a stadium where they do some athletic competitions at certain times of the year. And then they have then there's the other 4 colleges that radiate off from the central campus. You are in Lorehold, but then there's the Prismari, which is this campus. And then there is the Quandrix, which is this campus here. There is the Silver Quill, which is this campus over here. Very much kind of a classical architecture. There's this large amphitheater where they do performances of symphonic and theatrical performances in this big theater over here, outdoor amphitheater. And then there is the Witherbloom campus. And the Witherbloom campus is all built around some moors and bogs. And that is where the magic of positive and negative life energy magic is studied there. But then, most of the things that, your accommodations that you'll come back to are here in Lorehold. And then most of the things that you would probably need to find, including all of the shops, would be over here in the or in the central campus. So, with that brief orientation to the campus, they have this other map, and I don't know, to me it's not necessarily all that useful because it's more of a stylized map and doesn't really show you how everything relates to each other. But this is kind of the other map that you can use.
It was the release was the Magic the Gathering pre-release kit. this was the map that you could collect the different pieces for. So it's the bare bones. This is what these guys are, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think this one with the guy with the staff over here, I think this is supposed to be Lorehold.
Yeah, it's Lorehold. Silver Claws at the top. Top right is Quandrix. Bottom right is I can never remember this one. Witherbloom.
Witherbloom, yeah.
Bottom left is Prismari.
Prismari, yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm just going through things right now. I'm trying to think what, because Mulek made the point that he's looking for stuff that doesn't require achievement and all sorts of things like that. And if we do have this, this glorious bit of downtime to get ourselves prepared for the next adventure, as we are now a tier higher as well, I believe.
Yes, you are. You are all tier 3 adventurers.
Just been going over some stuff that I think he might like, as well as Bell, because they're not here. And just generic items I think people might like. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Okay. Well then, let me go through and ask each one of you, and I will start going left to right on my DM screen here. Heather.
Yes.
What would Tack be interested in doing? Would he just want to kind of check out his accommodations and hang out? Would he want to wander around campus? What would he do?
Well, first he'd probably check out his surroundings and where he's going to be sleeping for a while. He's tired, but it's kind of one of those things that, he's got all this money now, and he's just like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what I need, what I should buy. I'm kind of clueless on this. So he's probably going to go find Krenraid at some point in time to have him offer some suggestions.
Okay.
Otherwise, he might wind up taking a bath and relaxing for a while.
All right. And then Thaldor. What would Thaldor do?
I'd be meandering around, but probably be hanging out with Krenraid just to see his reaction to all the magic and all the craziness going on. So I'd be Krenraid's shadow for quite a while.
I mean, I think the first thing Krenraid would do is 100% hit up the tavern or wherever the students are, because this is a different kind of place. This is where the finger wagglers reign supreme. There's no mixed messages and like Grackle Stug or anything else like that. So his fellow wizards, how do they live? Is on Krenraid's mind.
Okay, well, you're probably going to find most of the people at the at the Firejolt Cafe is what I'm thinking, and I just want to get us to the correct there we go. Yeah, all right. So he would probably say he's wanting to go down to the Firejolt Cafe, but before we do that, let me also go and check with Ken and see what Fallager would be wanting to do now that he's here.
All right. How's the sound quality?
Oh, sounds great.
Good.
Okay. Fallager's hanging out with Krenraid and Thaldor, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we can laugh at all these weirdos together.
Okay, so Tack, you here after heading up to your room and, sort of putting your stuff away, and you're sort of sitting there kind of contemplating what you want to do. There's a knock on your door, and one of the others puts their head in and says, "Hey, Cranraid wants to go over to the Firejolt Cafe. We're going to go with him. You want to come along?"
Sure.
All right. So everybody is going to head on over to the Firejolt Cafe. And as you head towards here, you see this, as you come outside of the building, you first see this big canyon. And it's a rather interesting looking canyon. It's a canyon that, for lack of a better word, looks like somebody took an enormous axe the size of one of the gods and drove it into the hillsides here and just sort of split the hillsides. This area is made of red sandstone. So those of you who are familiar with the high desert in the southwest United States, areas around southern Utah, northern Arizona, places like that, where you have the red sand, rocky formations and whatnot. It's like one of these just got split. It's maybe the canyon. The main canyon is maybe 2 miles long, and then it gets very narrow, but you can see down at the bottom there's a rather small river, and the river continues. It comes from one end and flows out the other end, but the canyon gets much narrower on either end. And then inside this canyon, most of the buildings of the College of Lorehold have been constructed in the sides of these canyons, and they're some of the buildings are built out some and kind of cantilevered so that parts of the building just jut out from the sheer rock wall, and there is nothing below them until the river, several hundred to several thousand feet below, depending on how high up the canyon wall they are built. And then others are more just facades, with the buildings actually built into the walls of the canyon. And the building that you are in seems to be about half and half. About half of it seems to be built deep into the wall of the canyon. The other half seems to just be sticking out over the river below. And there are walkways and things that have been constructed so that you can walk over to that main causeway that crosses the canyon and then heads back towards the main campus. And you see, looking the other direction on that causeway, it goes a little bit beyond the canyon, and then there are very large gates that are there right now. On daytime, those gates are standing open. There are several people in some kind of a uniform that are standing on either side of those gates, just kind of like watching the road, but they don't seem to be accosting anybody that's coming in or out. But you get the sense that those gates probably, well, because they're gates, there must be some time when they're closed, but at least right now during the day they're open. So you head back towards the main campus, and you notice that the ground gets less dry and desert and more green and lush, and there you come through a small grove of trees, where the pathway that you're on is just sort of lined with these trees, and it's a little bit up and down, gentle low hills, and you come over one rise, and you see that the central campus is in something that looks like a green, verdant bowl. A wide, shallow bowl where all of the buildings of the main campus are laid out there before you. And the dominating feature of the central campus is, of course, that biblioplex, that huge domed library. But between you and it, and a little bit off to your side, I guess off to your right as you're looking at it, there is this huge commons area. And the commons area is dominated by an amazing looking feature. It is an archway. It is not a typical archway because the arch is made out of stones that are not fit together and yet are just suspended in air, forming an arch, not touching each other, but just sort of there. And the very top stone, what you would think of where the keystone would normally be, is this metallic looking orb that just seems to be very slowly rotating. And as it does, it looks from this distance like it must be perfectly smooth, and yet it can't be, because as it turns, it's like tiny facets catch the light and just, little sparks of different color. Sometimes a spark that's kind of bluish, sometimes greenish, sometimes red, sometimes yellow, just glints off of this slowly rotating metallic sphere that is suspended. Again, nothing holding it up, nothing underneath it, nothing above it, connected to it. It's just suspended there and slowly rotating. And there's one enormous humanoid statue that is in that commons, and you can see a bunch of students or a bunch of people are on the commons. Some are walking along, others, there are little groups of people at the feet of some of the trees that are growing on the commons. Some people have what looks like blankets spread out, and they're kind of laying on those. Sometimes one person, sometimes two or three people. And they appear to just be kind of relaxing, and some people look like they're probably reading, things of that nature. So that's the first major thing that greets you. And from the orientation of this particular thing, that to get to the Firejolt Cafe, you will go, you'll have to go through the commons and past that arch to get to the Firejolt Cafe.
How do you think that giant floaty thing is staying up there? Like, there's no pillar on it, there's no mechanism.
Obviously, finger waggling.
Yeah, but what kind, There's so many different versions of it. Like, one's finger waggling that makes things go boom, one's finger waggling that makes people go invisible, one's finger waggling that makes things smell nice.
No idea.
Yeah, I need to be a better magician.
Yeah.
Need better fingers. Maybe I can replace my fingers. I have to ask.
Why?
Because my fingers are great. I love my fingers. But maybe I can get fingers that can do the things that they do.
It's a little bit more complicated than that. Rate.
Oh? Nah, it's just they just wave their fingers about it. They just do it, right? So if I take the fingers, can't I just do it?
No, it's a little deeper than that. A lot of times, you could ask Mulek, but a lot of times it takes years of training, or they have to have magic inherent, that they can just do it. but that's few, far, and in between. Or they made some crazy deal with a god or a demon or something. I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah, everything seems to be complicated when Finger Waggling is involved.
Pretty much. I don't understand it all myself. I just have a good, I understand a lot, but not everything.
Well, as a pretty good wizard, I could say that I don't understand anything. So, I mean, I don't think the level of wizardry really matters, does it? If a wizard as good as me can't understand it.
Maybe you should go see one of these professors and talk to them about it.
That's a great idea, right? I've heard of this one, right? These Quandrix fellows. I'm listening into some of these conversations, and they're really, really, really smart. So I think I'm going to go say hi to them. But we'll have some food first. That's way more important.
And sure, I'll go with you because I'm interested to hear what they have to say.
Ah, lovely.
Oh, yeah. I'll go too.
Oh, wonderful. We can make a trip of it then.
And as you're walking towards the central campus, you notice that there is for lack of a better word, there is a theme, it seems like, with the architecture here. Most of the buildings, certainly not all of the buildings, but most of the buildings in the central campus appear to be made of a pale cream-colored marble. And they are mostly covered in blue tile roofs. Now, there are certain areas on the campus where you'll find buildings that have a different type of construction, different roof covering, and a lot of the buildings are round. They may be kind of oval, but a lot of them have, they seem to favor rounded walls as opposed to square walls. And the roofs often will have kind of fanciful designs in the tiles, not designs made of color, but designs in the way that tiles are laid out. So some of the roofs look like they are spirals. Some of the roofs look like they are waves. Some of the roofs look like they are twisted in a certain way. And it's all done by the way they have arranged the tiles so that the eye just sort of finds these patterns and sees those in there. And as you grow closer to the commons, you notice that in the green spaces around this big central statue and the central archway, there are 5 enormous fountains. And these fountains the pools in the fountains are probably 50 feet across. And at the center of each fountain, there is a tall plinth. And on top of each plinth, there is a statue. And the one thing that all of these statues have in common is they all look draconic in nature. They all look like statues of different kinds of dragons.
Different coloration as well?
Different colors, yes.
Is there any black ones?
In fact, there is a black one, and it is very different than any black dragon you have ever seen before. It has horns growing out of its head, and these horns remind you more of tree branches or antlers of like deer or stags or something like that. instead of the horns that you would normally find on a dragon. These horns, the main part of the horns grow up and curl in together with the points pointing back down at the skull of the dragon. And then the other thing that you notice about this statue is that the body of the dragon is not covered in scales. The body of the dragon, as it's carved, seems to be a kind of a smooth, leathery skin. And the wings of the dragon are enormous feathers. So it's unlike any dragon you have ever heard about.
If it doesn't look like a typical black dragon, I'm not going to be too fussed about it. But,
Yeah.
you know, the coloration, I've got some history with their particular type.
Yeah.
So come over and eye it a bit, go, and then like, yeah, whatever.
And there is a plaque, a plaque in brass at the base of the fountain as you get near it.
Can we read it?
Oh, yes. The plaque says, Belladros Witherbloom, Founding Dragon.
Okay.
Oh, I see. They found a dragon, and this is him.
No.
No, Grin, no.
Eh?
I think this dragon founded this school.
Well, the dragon found the school.
Founded.
Created.
Started. Created.
Oh, see, we don't have that word in Ungak. That's an interesting one. Founded. Started. Okay. It's weird.
Crafted.
Yeah.
Is that right to put it? Crafted the school.
What, like the stone and everything?
Maybe. But no, it sounds better for you to say the word crafted the school.
I mean, it does make more sense in my brain, but I think it's more impressive if that dragon was able to, you know, do all the stone work and all those other fancy things. Like, they've got big hands. It's quite impressive. And let's use the same size as this statue, in which case it makes more sense.
Curiosity, Thal'dor is curious about the statue. Knowing we're in a magical place, in Draconic, he says, "Hello, can you speak?"
And water just continues to flow from the fountain.
Thought I'd give it a try.
We'll have a shot.
Do you want to take a look at any of the other fountains?
I think we should, you know.
Throw a gold piece into the fountain.
Okay, it splashes, and you notice that you're definitely not the first person that's done that. There's a lot of people that have, you know, there's a lot of copper coins in there, some silver coins, a few gold coins, and you think you see one or two platinum coins that are in the fountain. And while these fountains are wide, like 50 feet wide, they seem very shallow. They're like maybe 3 or 4 feet deep.
No, Grin, you can't go swimming in the fountain.
Oh, I wasn't planning to. That's very mucky water. Besides, I smell great right now. You know, we had that lovely party, we got covered in booze. Like, this is the kind of scent that I want to give off. It's a brewery. You know, everyone loves a brewery.
One of the other dragons that you see depicted in a fountain is a very colorful dragon. This one is a bit more, you know, is depicted as having scales, a bit more like you are used to. It also has the muzzle that's a bit more like a dragon. But instead of having horns, it looks almost like growing out of its head are dozens of short, thick tentacles that almost are like hair that grows out of its head. And the skin coloration is very striking on this one. It has a rather pink underbelly, and then the wings are hues of red and blue and purple. And then it's got a tail that is probably 3 times longer than the actual body itself. And the tail has what looks like a fin that runs all the way down the top and the bottom of the tail. And that fin is of a pinkish color, whereas the tail is more of a purplish color. And this one has a plaque that says Galazeth Prismari, Founder Dragon.
This dragon crafted its thing, and that dragon crafted its thing. What do you guys think? This is a pretty. It's good stonework. It's all right.
Wait a minute. So wait, this whole plane or this whole school was crafted by dragons or founded by dragon?
Maybe it was like a guild of dragon craftsmen. Have you ever seen that, Tack?
No. This is a new one on me, but
Me too.
my travels are kind of limited, so you know. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I haven't ever seen.
That's very wise, as one would expect from someone who makes beer.
Then one of the other dragon statues that you see, it looks a little bit odd compared to the other two. It seems like it is carved out of a single enormous block of white stone, and yet it is made in such a way that parts of this dragon almost seem to disappear in shadow. And the shadowy parts of this dragon have almost kind of an ethereal view. But the stonework, at first, it almost seems crude because the head has this big, heavy, very pronounced jaw that kind of is almost carved at angles instead of being kind of smooth skin. And then you notice that there are very detailed scales that are carved onto this. So you think that maybe this is a representation of the way this particular dragon is supposed to look. It doesn't have any horns, but it has kind of ridges that go laterally across the back of its head and down its neck that almost make it look like it has overlapping plates of armor down its back. And again, it's mostly white, except in the areas where it's black in shadow. And the little bronze plaque at the foot of this fountain says Shadrix Silverquill, Founder Dragon.
Shadrix Silverquill.
Hey guys.
Hey man.
Can I do any checks to see if I know anything about this stuff?
Sure you can. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. if you wish. Yeah, 15? No. You don't know anything about this.
Nice looking dragon.
You've never heard anything about such a creature.
Can I try a history check?
Sure.
That's one of my highest stats. Nope.
18. Well, with history, you remember a few minutes ago, somebody told you that there is a college called Silverquill. And come to think of it, there's a college called Witherbloom, and a college called Prismari as well. So, yeah, these dragons either are named after the colleges, or the colleges are named after the dragons. Maybe. It says founder dragon, so maybe these are somehow the founders of this university. But that's about all you would know.
Interesting. Oh yeah, apparently these colleges were founded by the dragons. Apparently they're named after the dragons.
Oh. That's weird, because you don't see them like... You said like the dean, right? We were in the dean's office. Didn't look big enough for a dragon.
Finger waggling. Remember, dragons can take humanoid shape.
Oh, you're right. They can do that, can't they? Yeah. Maybe the dean's a dragon. Oh.
Who knows?
I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Not gonna lie. We made some friends with dragons recently, haven't we, guys? So it'd be pretty cool to meet some more.
Then you come to another fountain, and the dragon in this statue is perhaps the oddest looking one yet. It appears to be green with pale blue accents. This dragon is depicted as having the most unusual head and snout of any of the dragons you've seen so far. It looks like the head of the dragon incorporates almost the body and tentacles of an octopus that are laid upon the crown of the skull, and then the tentacles go forward across the snout, and you cannot see any eyes or even any mouth that is carved on this particular dragon. And the wings of this dragon are really unusual. They, in the shape of the wings, it looks kind of like a four-lobed butterfly wing, but each of the lobes of the wing is made up of what looks like giant green leaves, leathery, wide leaves that then have space between them. So it's a very strange looking dragon. And the bronze plaque at the bottom of the fountain says, Hanazir Quandrix, Founder Dragon.
Quandrix. Oh, yeah, that's the place where all the smart people are. So that means this way was the smartest dragon.
Huh. This is all so very confusing.
Oh, very. The stonework's only mediocre at best, so clearly these dragons weren't the best craftsmen. But, they tried their best.
Are we walking around and seeing a bunch of, fountains and carvings of these creatures? Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, you're in the central commons of the campus. And you're walking towards a cafe
And
we're
walking.
And their eyes were caught by these fountains that have dragons carved in them. And
are there other creatures or individuals walking around in this like plaza area?
oh yeah. There's all kinds of humanoids, and you see now that you're closer, there are all manner of humanoids, some which you are familiar with, and some that you have never seen before. I mean, you have your humans, your elves, your dwarves, your half-elves, your gnomes, there's some dark elves that are here. But then there's some very strange people indeed. There are people who have the heads and legs and feet of owls, all the way down to the beaks and the taloned feet, and the feathery wings. But they are walking along and they are speaking to humans or elves or whatnot, and they're walking bipedally like other humanoids. And you can
just
see,
stand and stare at these people, even
Yeah.
if it's rude.
and
It looks like
you
a
can
country bumpkin.
Yeah, and you can see that they have arms that they're holding books or carrying satchels or whatever in. And then there are some other people that look extremely strange. They are gray-skinned. They are taller than most humanoids, and they are bulkier than most humanoids. And their legs are these thick, round, gray legs that look kind of like tree trunks, and their feet almost don't jut out at all from the bottom of their legs. They're just kind of almost like toenails at the edge of their feet. And then their heads are the strangest heads you have seen. They have these huge gray ears that they slowly open and close, almost like they are fanning themselves. They have enormous tusks that jut out and curve upward from their bottom lip. And then where their nose should be, there is a long gray trunk that hangs down below their waist, and that they can articulate with very great deftness. Some of them you see are actually holding something curled up in their trunk. Some of them are, the tip of that trunk is, turns this way and that, as though it's catching odors from one place or another. And they, again, are walking along with elves, half-elves, humans, half-orcs, drow, whatever. Just all of the other normal humanoid races that you would expect to see. And, but yeah, so all kinds of strange people that you see here on this campus.
When we were in Barovia, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm misremembering, didn't we see some like abominations where like there were some creatures that were kind of merged with animal forms?
Yes, those were clearly misshapen people, because they would have like one of their arms would be a normal human arm, except it might be covered in goat fur, and the other arm might be like a lobster claw. So they were people that look like they had been the products of some sort of mad wizard's genetic experiments or something.
These creatures, they're more pure.
These creatures, they all look like they're natural creatures, and that they are part of a population, but they're just very different than anything you guys have ever seen, even in as cosmopolitan a city as Waterdeep is. It's like it's all kinds of strange people here.
And are they speaking common? Like these elephant-looking creatures and owl-looking creatures?
Yeah, most of them you can tell are speaking common. They have some thick accents, and you catch a word in common here or there in an accent. But the owls have kind of a very almost whistly way of speaking. If you imagine, probably they have a hard beak that they're trying to speak with, and so all the sounds they make are by manipulating their tongue, and because they don't have humanoid lips that they can speak with. And the people with the large trunks and tusks, they have just a very sort of slurred and heavily accented way of speaking that you think has less to do with their inability to make humanoid speech and more with just whatever their natural language is, wherever they come from.
Huh.
And then the fifth and final fountain is a fountain that is at once kind of more familiar looking and at once at odds with your concept of a dragon. This is a great red dragon. It is a dragon that from its neck to its wings to its claws and everything is almost exactly what you would expect a red dragon to look like. However, the scales are much thicker, and these almost uniformly across its back and on its legs and everything, the scales come up and end in what looks like sharp quills that lay back along its body. And then the head, where you would normally think of a dragon as having a rounded snout, this dragon has a triangular snout where the bottom jaw is almost completely flat, and it's very wide, and at the two tips of the jaw on the right and left, there are thick, short, you might think of them as horns or spikes that grow up from the upper lip. And then right in the center of the snout, there is a large, almost what looks like an axe handle growing from the tip of the nose, but it's sheared off. So it's like a very thick, round column, and then it's kind of smashed on the top. And the nameplate at the base of this fountain says Velamachus Lorehold, Founder Dragon.
These dragons don't look anything like the ones from back home.
No, they're very weird.
Yeah, and each one of them very different. It's like, it's almost like there were five completely different gods had five completely different ways of imagining what a dragon would look like, and created these. You have no idea whether these are part of a species, whether these are unique, or what the story is with these. But then, as you cross that commons, you come to the Firejolt Cafe. There is there's a wide plaza with outdoor seating, and there's groups of people, sometimes one person at a table, sometimes 3 or 4 people sitting at a table. that are there, and then there's wide doors that lead into the interior of the place, and you can see there's a big long bar over there that has seating, and then there's also table seating inside. And there are several people wandering around in what looks like uniforms. They are sometimes bringing drinks or food to some of the tables, and then heading back to the kitchen. Go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
Y'all see Faerun, and he just waves at you, motions you over.
Hey, what up, friend? Where you looking?
So Faerun just went in. I guess I don't know if y'all heard me earlier, but I just went ahead, reserved a table. That's how we'll play this. And
Okay.
He's like, what in the hells took y'all so long?
There were these really weird dragon statues, right? They looked like freaks.
I know, right? I noticed that too, as I was walking over.
Oh, it's true though. You said so too.
I said they looked weird. I didn't call them freak.
Yeah, where's fucking potatoes are different than you again. Where's the food?
So
Faerun,
where do you sit, Faerun? Are you seated at an outdoor table or at a table inside?
well, it's inside. It's near like open windows. You know, it's kind of like, you know what I mean. It's kind of like a window
Where you can
seating.
watch for your companions and then catch them.
Yeah.
And closer.
Faerun's like, I noticed those dragons were quite odd species-wise.
Okay. Well, you have met the server already, who has brought you a drink. And would Faerun have ordered anything to eat? I guess not. So, as the others come and sit down at the table, Faerun will wave, and an elf, a male elf, who looks like he's, if he were a human, he would probably be in his late teens or early 20s. Steps over to the table. He's got a white shirt, a sort of a wide white apron, and black trousers and black shoes on. And you notice everybody that is serving in here, they all have the same outfit, whether they're male, female, regardless of the species. It's sort of a white top, white apron, and black trousers and black shoes. And he comes over and he says, there you are. Master Faerun said that he would be having some friends come along. I am Kelsaron Poplargaze. How can I help you?
Nice to meet you, Poplar. My name's Quandrix. What do you finger waggoners like to eat? You know, like, do you eat bugs or do you eat like meat and vegetables? Like, what do you guys eat?
Oh, we have a wide menu here, and really, it depends more on the home culture of the people that come here. Strixhaven has students that come from many different worlds and several different planes, and they all bring their own culture and their own dietary preferences. So we have a wide menu that serves vegetarian dishes for those that prefer to eat plants. We have all kinds of meat dishes, fish, fowl, land creatures. We do not have any humanoid on the menu. That is against school policy. I know that in some cultures they have rich traditions of dining on their enemies or dining on their recently deceased ancestors, but we do not do that here.
But I did see an owl. I did see an owl walking around. So do you sell bird?
Oh yes. You must be speaking of the Owlin. The Owlin are native here to this world. They are one of the major peoples that you will meet in this world. And there's quite a few staff members and, I would say maybe 10% of the student body population are Owlin. Of course...
the long trunks that,
Oh, you're speaking of the Loxodons. The Loxodons, yes. Loxodons come from several different worlds. One of those worlds is a place called Ravnica that sends some of their students here to Strixhaven. And then there's several other worlds where you'll find their people. They're a very nice folk, and they are surprisingly good dancers for their size.
I said they are very big, so whatever those guys eat, I want to eat what they eat. They're really big. They gotta have a good diet.
Well, they are for the most part herbivores. Now, many herbivores.
They eat nothing but plants.
What?
Yes.
But they're the size of a building. How do they get that big and meaty if they don't eat any meat?
A typical Loxodon breakfast will consist of about 20 pounds of dried grasses. And then a lunch will be about a 4-pound salad. And dinner will be some steamed vegetables, or maybe 5 or 10 pounds of those.
I think I'll have bacon.
Would you like pork bacon, turkey bacon, beef bacon, or venison bacon?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he means. I'm sorry. He means all of them.
Well,
yes.
I can bring the bacon sampler platter for the table, if that would suffice, and everybody can try different varieties.
What's up?
Could you bring 10 of those, and I'll just eat them?
And he looks at all of you, says, "Well, let me start with one, and let me see how that fills you up. They are rather large." And then James, I'm sorry, sometimes you're clear, sometimes you're very muffled. I couldn't hear what you were trying to say.
Oh, sorry. I said sampler plate, and then I would add. Cranray, didn't you have a bad experience with a bunch of bacon one time?
Yeah, but that was different. That was a different shop, so hopefully this one will be fine.
No, what happened was he ate all the lard that went with the bacon. That's what made him sick.
Yeah, that's the best part of the bacon bits. It's all the oil and the fat and everything.
Yeah, but remember what happened last time. Eat the bacon, leave the fat.
Well, I don't think it would be nice to, have all the lardlings in such a public space. They might be discouraged by the smell.
Remember what happened last time, Cran. We don't want to see you get sick again.
Yeah, you're right. That was a bad experience. I'll stick with the bacon.
I'll take a beef and kidney pie, please, with a large pint of ale.
Okay. Would you prefer a land animal kidney, fowl kidney, fish kidney?
Lamb would be fine.
Lamb. Lamb kidney. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And for the rest of you,
Steak and salad.
a green salad? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very clearly.
Sorry, steak and salad.
A steak and a salad. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Beef steak is fine with you? Okay. And you, Mr. Fallinger, have you decided now that your friends are here?
Yeah, but I'm not sure y'all know how to make it.
Oh, try us.
Well, do you know what chicken fried steak is?
Chicken fried steak. Well, I know what chicken is, and I know what steak is. Chicken fried steak. I'm not sure I've heard that. I will have to ask my manager. Perhaps she knows.
Well, it's a bit deceiving. It's basically a pounded to hell thinly, or semi-thinly round steak, basically, and then you batter it in flour and you deep fry it with some sea salt or whatever dry seasonings you got, and then, you know, just a couple of minutes and then it's done. And then you just drain the oil into a towel or something. Anyway, I'm sure you can whip that up for me. I want some mashed potatoes and some gravy, and I'd like some maybe some cooked greens and turnips, maybe with some hot sauce. You know what? You probably don't have hot sauce, damn it. I got my own, and he reaches into his bag and he like pulls it out.
Oh,
and he slides it halfway in between him and Kenray because he knows Kenray is probably going to get some.
Mr. Fallinger, you will have to dine here when you can, because we do have hot sauces that originate on 130 different worlds.
Oh my God, his eyes just get big and he gets really excited.
Theodore looks over at Fallinger. Did he just say 130 different types of hot sauces?
Yeah, he did, and we want one of each.
Well,
No,
bowl my ass in a
no.
spoonful. I can't believe it.
He says to Thaldor, no sir. I said the hot sauces come from 130 different worlds. We probably have an average of 2 to 5 different hot sauces from each of those worlds.
Jesus, that's more than just one per world.
Wait.
Come on.
I don't have enough fingers.
It's okay. Don't break your head, grenade. We got it.
It's really tough. That's impossible.
Let me just put it this way: we could come back to this restaurant, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the foreseeable future, and not within probably 5 years still go through half the hot sauces they have.
And he says, you know, sir, there are students that have told me, most of the time after they've had a little bit too much to drink, that they have extended their studies here for a full 10 years just so they can sample all of the hot sauces that we have on our menu. Now,
See?
I think that's a bit extravagant. I plan to work my way through them, but I hope that I will be sampling most of them as an alum, returning for campus visits, and not while I am still here pursuing my studies.
Fallinger looks at the group and he's like, "Yep, it's official. This is my favorite plane so far."
Be the second plane we've ever been to.
And to finish up my order,
Yes, sir.
Just bring me some hot bread or whatever you got, and some good butter, and maybe some, I don't know, if you got some cooked beans with maybe some ham hock or pig's feet in it or something like that. Maybe that'd be really good. I don't know.
And he says, I think I'll bring kind of a. And he's jotting everything down. He says, I'll bring enough to share. Sounds like there's going to be plenty of sharing at this table. And I will bring a sampling of some of my favorite hot sauces, if you'll permit me to do so.
Oh yeah, I'd like to try some of that with my steak and kidney pie.
That'd be
Wonderful.
excellent. If you don't mind, just I don't know how big you gonna make this chicken fried steak or how big your fryers are back there, but bring enough that I can share some with my friend Ken Raid here. He's probably never had chicken fried steak.
Oh, of course, sir. Of course, sir. And will all of you be having something to drink? We have a full selection of ales, spirits, wine, water, and fruit juices.
I've got to meet some very smart people later, so only your second strongest alcohol for me, please.
Second strongest alcohol. Okay. All right. We will give you a very nice Loxodon whiskey. The Dwarven Ale is, of course, the strongest drink on the menu. We'll bring you a Loxodon whiskey.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and for the rest of you?
Just a regular human ale, please.
Very well.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I'd like a good ale.
You want the dark ale, the light ale. The difference is the dark ale is a little bit more room temperature. The light ale is served a little bit more chilled.
A light ale, please.
Very good,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, me too.
Dark
I
ale?
think no, light ale is definitely the call.
Okay, so for Krenraid and Thalador, 2 light ales. For Tack, a dark ale. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, and you, sir, he says, pointing to Mulek.
Oh, any type of spring
Or mineral water will be good.
Ah, okay, spring water. Very well. All right, and he takes that. He says, "Oh, I will be out with the drinks in a moment." And he takes his leave, and as he goes over, he's flagged down by somebody at another table. And he heads back towards the kitchen. So, and that's actually, we are halfway through our session. So, everybody, we are going to go ahead and take our break right now. I will move us back over to the slate, and I'm going to put the timer on. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us this evening. This is our first Wednesday evening of our ongoing Sword Coast Chronicles campaign. For those of you who made the switch with us, we appreciate you following us to Wednesday night. For those of you who are new, you can find the archives of this campaign all the way over on the YouTube channel. So, I'm going to mute myself, and players, you guys can obviously hang out here and chat on the stream, or you can move to the off-stream chat. I will be back in a few minutes.
How's everybody doing today?
Oh, what did I miss?
Nothing.
Not much.
We just were talking about Strixhaven, checking out our quarters, and went to get whatever breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever we're eating right now.
how did
So
you
we
get
were
that?
told that there's 5 shops, which are put into the Discord under NPC news locations. But essentially, there's a magic item shop, a scroll shop, a potion shop, a magical arms and armor shop, and a magical components shop. So it seems like we're getting a bit of downtime before Morgan, Kane, and Tenso and the rest of the guys get us together and tell us our next moves. So we just did a bit of roleplay and hanged around for a bit. And now we've got
Yeah.
most people here so they can carry on.
And we haven't visited any.
The shops.
No, not yet. I did try and find some things I thought might be useful that didn't require attunement, because I know that's something that you mentioned last week. And also some other bits and bobs which might just be generically useful. I've also kind of thought what Kremraid would want or find it interesting, so I think it's definitely something we should all be thinking about at this point to try and speed up the process. That was everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's everything we did. Like I said, we're just eating now.
So we already
Got rooms at an inn.
We got rooms on campus, like in a dorm.
The Law Hold dorm has put us up, so we're in some private rooms in the Law Hold College currently.
are we paying for it ourselves?
Or did like Mordenkainen, like how did we arrive here again?
Mordenkainen took us through a portal, and that's how he got here. And
Yeah.
he's providing the rooms. We're not paying anything for him or anything.
And we're gonna meet up with
And at some point, like we don't know when.
Tomorrow, most likely. So we have the day to mess around that we want to do. Cranray wants to go to the Quandrix College as an example because he heard they're really smart.
He wants to meet a professor. I
Yeah,
definitely want to see that.
yeah. I have no ulterior motives.
I want to see that because the professor's really smart and Grenade trying to explain, finger waggling to the professor.
So yeah, anything you want to, think that your character might want to do while he was here, we have like the day off, a bit like a holiday.
So basically,
Like a shopping too. Like
Yep.
kind of one of that.
I haven't even looked at items. I've been so busy. I don't even know what's even.
I haven't looked either.
I've got,
I mean,
I've got plenty of gold. I just don't know what to spend it on.
I think we all got plenty of gold.
Well, we do have a lot of gold, but because it costs more now, because we're a tier higher, we have access to higher tier magical items that are accessible at the shops, and I think this is Gally's way of kind of like, hey, you want to get yourselves a bit dumped up. Or are we looking for anything specific?
I wouldn't know where to begin.
Yeah.
What's the
I don't know
rarity?
what tier.
We can have very rare now. Is that pretty much how?
I believe it's how commonplace they are. You'd have definitely ask Galley, but I believe it's up to rare is very easy to find now, and then very rare is still harder but easier than it was. I believe is the logic. You'll have to ask him though. I think we'll start seeing very rare stuff though. Yeah.
upgrade my bag of things.
Yes, exactly. Stuff like that. I've got a few things, like sending stones, deck of illusions. I think it's uncommon. The pipe of haunting, I think, would be quite cool for
Gally just posted it. Yeah, we can, as tier 3 characters,
Hey,
we can find and purchase common, uncommon, rare, and very rare magical items.
say all the way up to very rare. I've thought of a few things for Tech, and I've thought of a few things for Bell, and
I have no idea.
I've listed a few things that don't require attunement. So these are like just generic things that anyone can have beyond their 3 slots of attunement, which is good.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought of something. What is that cloak that's really good for rogues that makes them unhittable?
Cloak of Displacement.
Yeah,
Cloak
cloak
of
of displacement is good.
Yeah, it's good for any melee character, by the way, for obvious reasons.
That requires attunement. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
I've got room for attunement.
Bonk to Bonk doesn't. We could all have Dimension Door.
I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's true.
We could all wear matching capes and get stitched, get our names stitched on the back or something.
Wow.
Nice. We're the Power Rangers. We got our team. Nice.
We could get a magic carpet.
We could. There's magic brooms, magic carpets, things we can start seeing now.
We're in the best place to find it.
True.
Oh my god, that was perfect what he put in the chat. Read it.
Yeah, that is absolutely it.
Yes. What would we call the group? The finger wagglers?
Don't know.
Oh my god!
We're a real ragtag group of people. Like, what would our adventuring team name be after all of our exploits, right? The biggest one has to be defeating Imrith. So maybe something to do with that. I don't know.
Destroyers of Doom.
Something like that.
I mean, it's accurate, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I think it's like.
I didn't think about it, but being in Strixhaven is a prime opportunity to find just about anything you think you can put your hands on.
It's probably the best place to find anything magical. Yeah, definitely.
Don't know. I'll think of a few things, but I have really nothing in mind that I could off the top of my head.
Get a dagger of
Venom.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Huh. Aren't there daggers that could be thrown that will automatically appear back in my hand?
Yes, there are some that do that. There is also an enchantment you can get an artificer to do called returning weapon. I would imagine that's something that someone in Lorehold or one of these shops would be able to do.
There you go.
Dagger of Warning is very good. It's only uncommon. It gives advantage on initiative rolls, which is a nice plus. And while you're attuned and wielding the dagger, you can't be surprised, and you're magically awoken from sleep when danger approaches, along with all allies within 30 feet.
That might be something good to get my hands on then.
It does require attunement, unfortunately.
I've got attunement slots.
It's pretty good. Like, you don't even have to wield it. You can still use your rapier as long as you just have it.
Yeah, as long as it's in my inventory, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dagger of Warning, huh?
Yeah, if you're okay looking at daggers, there's a ton, and I would definitely look those up on Beyond.
I think you're going to find that, Michael, under Weapon of Warning, because Weapon of Warning is the category, and then it can just be any kind of weapon.
There you go.
Gotcha.
All right. So let's go ahead and come back to our map here. I'm going to go ahead and turn down this background in this perfect background here for the Firejolt Cafe. The Firejolt Cafe, I should say. They bring out the drinks, and when your server comes back with the drinks, when Kelsaron comes back with the drinks, he is accompanied by a female elf, and she is dressed kind of more. She's dressed in a similar way to the servers, but kind of in a way that suggests she is of a she's kind of maybe one of the managers or something like that. And she comes up to you and she says, hello, my name is Alina, and I am the manager here. I was hoping to get a bit more guidance for the chef on this chicken fried steak. Kelsaron was trying to explain it to me, and I'm afraid I'm not sure I heard him correctly, so I just wanted to make sure. You say basically it's beef steak, made very thin and deep, covered in flour batter and then deep fried. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Ah, okay. Okay. That is very interesting. I don't know that we've ever had that. We've ever had that requested. Of course, we have flour. We have beefsteak. We can do that. But I think I might have another dish of that cooked up for myself and some of the servers, and we'll see.
Don't forget the most important part. You got to take a meat mallet and hammer the shit out of it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tender. It's not chewy like a steak. You're supposed to be able to a perfect chicken fried steak, which I know is confusing because it's not technically chicken, nor is it a steak. But because that would be chicken fried chicken, and then Faerun goes into this like 5-minute like spiel about the differences between chicken fried steak and chicken fried chicken and where it like originates and blah blah blah.
Cranred's drooling. Carry on.
Anyway, and then he just finishes and he says, "So that's the subtle differences."
Oh, well, that's very fascinating. Thank you, Mr. Faerun. Well, we will have that out to you along with the rest of your food. And if any of you are still thirsty at the end of your meal, I would recommend our signature dessert drink. It is the Firejolt coffee. You will not go wrong with that.
Oh, I can't drink coffee on a school day.
Oh, okay. Very well. She kind of looks a little confused, but she smiles and then she says, "Well, thank you, and just please let us know if you all need anything." And she takes her leave and goes back. And in fairly short order, your food starts to come out, and it's all prepared very well. It's the bacon has the right amount of chewiness and crispiness in it. The chicken fried steak, Faerun, gosh, you can tell they have tried, but the chef probably worried about damaging his countertop or damaging his mallet. He probably should have beat that steak a little bit more. It's a little bit chewier than you would like. And it's not quite as tender as it is, but it is deep fried, and it's a different kind of oil than you've tasted before. You've tasted things deep fried in like a peanut oil, and deep fried in a lard, and deep fried in kind of a vegetable oil, but there's something different about this particular oil that is not exactly what you would have expected. So that, and the rest of your food tastes pretty good. The ale, the light ale, is very crisp and refreshing and very cold. The dark ale just has a kind of a smoothness to it, sort of just settles on the tongue, and is very easy to drink. The steak is very good. The other food is very good. And Krenraid, you notice that you've eaten one or two slices of each of the different types of bacon, but Faerun has also given you a little bit of his steak, and there's enough of kind of some of the other side dishes that people have shared some of that with you.
Oh.
And you find yourself fairly full after the first platter of bacon is nothing but grease and a couple little crumbs there. on the plate.
Prime Red's shocked, but he refuses to believe it, and he keeps eating anyway. Do you want me to roll a con check?
No, not just yet. Okay. So, is it one of those things where Krenraid at some point realizes he's the only person still eating? Everybody else is.
Possibly.
Everybody else.
He'd probably ask for a doggy bag, take it away from him.
Okay. All right. And they'll give you some. And then the hot sauces. I almost forgot the hot sauces. Kelsaron will bring a flight of it's not bottles, it's little you know how you get in some fancy restaurants, you get like the little miniature ceramic pitcher for cream for your coffee and stuff. He brings a tray that has one of those things that you normally see like flights of beer served in, but this one has 10. This paddle has 10 openings, and there are 10 of these little different ceramic pitchers of hot sauce, and they range in color from a hot sauce that is nearly white, looks almost white, like a chicken fried gravy that Faliger might be familiar with, and then it goes through some reddish and then kind of almost greenish to then nearly a black hot sauce on the other end. And he points out that they rise in heat from the white being the most mild to the black being the hottest. And he suggests that if you want to try the hot sauce, he suggests having a little taste first, just to see if the sauce flavoring as much as the spice agrees with you, or the flavoring as much as the heat agrees with you. And so he then gives you the names, and indeed these come from about 4 different worlds of origin. All right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So Tyler just starts writing down a list of where the hot sauces come from, and we'll check them off the list as we go. I show that to Fauser and Grenade. Here, look. Here, I'm making a list of all the hot sauces.
That's a real good idea, Thaldor. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very smart. We can try different ones now.
There you go. Boys, I also been thinking while I've been sitting here, I've heard of these magical tattoos. Have you heard about these?
Yes. Some of the runesmiths that I lived with had them. They were incredible, the things they could do.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting one. You want to watch?
I mean, I'm definitely going to get myself a few if they got on me, that's for sure. I want to chronicle our glorious adventures, and I can't think of a better way than in tattoo form.
Makes sense. Yeah, I was looking. Hopefully they got a list of different tattoos they offer. That'd be great.
I wonder who would have that.
And it comes to mind that there was Tack has been eating, and he has dove into his food with great gusto, and he gets a little way into his meal, and then he starts mixing the hot sauces. And he puts like two or three of the different hot sauces on the same bit of food. And he takes a few bites, and he looks up, and you can see that there's kind of little sweat around his eyes and everything. And then he noticeably slows way down on eating, and he sits there for a few minutes, and then he sips a little bit of his ale, and he kind of sits there and shifts a bit uncomfortably in his chair. And then after a couple of minutes, he excuses himself, and he gets up and he walks over towards this corridor where you have seen several people go in, and then they go off to rooms on the side. And then you don't see him for a while. So he has had to step away from the table. But you also remember that as a runesmith, Tack has some of these mystical tattoos. So at some point you can ask him about them and see what he might know about them. So, all right. So eventually Tack will return, and he looks a little bit pale, and he says that he doesn't feel like eating anymore, and he kind of reminds you a little bit of Krenraid, that time that Krenraid had too much of the bacon, and you think maybe the idea of mixing up multiple hot sauces didn't agree with his system that well. So we'll say that was what it is. So he's very quiet the rest of the day. So when you all finish your meal, you head back to the Lorehold, or would you want to go somewhere else, or what would you all want to do?
Who did you want to talk to, Grenade?
Oh, I wanted to go see the professors over at the Quandrix College, because apparently they're the smartest people, right?
Maybe. I don't think Mulek would have a problem talking with some professors. What about you, Alger?
Yeah, might learn some important information, that's for sure.
True. All right, Kren, you know which way we're going?
Absolutely no idea. Hey, miss! He's gonna run over and try and flag down a student.
Okay, what race of student?
Just any miss. Like, if he thinks is a miss, it might not be a miss.
Okay, all right. So you find a female elf.
Perfect. Well, to recognize.
Yeah, and she looks over at you. She's got kind of blondish hair and little delicate points at the top of your ears, and she's very slight and looks kind of young and wide-eyed and innocent. And she says, "Oh, hello, Master Dwarf. How can I help you?"
Hello, mister. Sorry for disturbing you on your lovely evening walk or morning walk. I can't remember what time it is. But I need to find out where the Quandrix campus is, and I've got no idea where I am.
Oh, the Quandrix campus. Well, that one, let me see. For the Quandrix campus, you can just go, I believe that one is to the south. Yes. The Quandrix campus is to the south.
The south it is. Thank you, lady. Very kind.
Yes.
Run
All
away.
right. And good to see you, Master Dwarf.
Nice meeting you. Running south.
Okay. And you guys do make your way over towards the Quandrix campus.
It's more accurate to say he runs over to where where Faldor is, asks which way is north, and then opposite of that, go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know which way north is, and I tell you, and it's like, yep, it'd be that way, Grenade.
And as you get back towards the main central plaza of the campus, you can see that there's actually some signs, and the girl was mostly right. She's probably pretty new here herself. It is not so much south as it is southeast from the main campus, but you quickly follow the signs and start heading your way over there, and before long, you find yourself coming to the Quandrix campus. And you notice as you get into the Quandrix campus that the architecture here is quite different than that of the central campus. Everything here seems to be kind of angles and edges and angles and whatnot, and there are some curves, but it's more like the steeper and sharper the angles they can make things, the better they seem to like it here. And everything is shot through with different bands or patterns of color. So you see lots of different colors here on this particular campus. And the central hall of the campus, which you see a sign that says it is Taurus Hall, that is made to look kind of like a stylized flower that has a very tall central stamen, if you will, and then several other smaller towers around the edge. And then it kind of looks like it is opening, almost like a bud that has peeled open, the way they have the architecture on the first few floors of the central tower. So you walk into that building because that is where the faculty mainly are. And so as you get closer to that, you see that there are a number of different professors, and these professors are all arranged in the type of scholarship that they study. So
perfect is where all the nerds live. Look at it.
Yes. You see several professors that are called professors of abstraction, some that are professors of augmentation, some that are professors of fractology, some that are professors of mana, some that are metamancer professors, some that are professors of the scale druid, some that are professors of sequence prophecy, and some that are professors of vivification. And
yeah, Mulek, when you taught me how to do my finger waggling that lets me like be multiple versions of me, there's like more than one of me. What's that?
What's it called? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like what, if I was going to ask one of these professors about that, who would I ask?
I'm sorry, sorry.
Out of character, you're asking which professor to ask?
Yeah.
Just pick one. It's a pretty common spell. I'm sure they will know.
No, what school of magic is that?
Oh, illusion.
Illusion. Okay, right. Any of them got illusion in there? I don't think so. I think the. I what begins with illusion? Tuition.
As you are standing there talking to each other, and Krenraid is sort of muttering about illusion, there is a student that walks by, and this student is a half-orc, male. And he looks over and he says, "Oh, yes. Here in Quandrix, they call illusion. They call that the college or the study of fractalology."
Fractals. Thank you. Very kind, my young man. Very kind.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Are you a visiting mage from afar?
Yeah. I'm an expert finger waggler, right? And I figured all these nerds will probably know a thing or two about like how the illusions work, and maybe I can make them stronger or something. So I need to go ask that fractal guy, and then we'll be in business.
Oh, well, yes. Welcome. Will you be giving any lectures while you're here?
Oh, absolutely. If they need anything done about like stone, or like the various qualities of stone, or like how to chisel like a really beautiful statue kind of better than the ones you got outside, then I could, I'll do that.
Oh, so you use the power of raw magic to do sculpture with physical stone. Ah, that's quite amazing. Oh.
I like to describe it as a kind of magic, yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to your lecture. By the way, I am a first-year student here. My name is Maritor.
Maritor, nice to meet you. I'm the adventurer Krenraid, and these are my friends.
Oh, Krenraid. Oh, adventurers. So you are practical. You are practical practitioners of magic. Not theoretical. You actually put magic to use in the field.
Oh yeah, you should see the things that Mulek over there does.
Oh,
And Mulek just looks
Over and says, "No, Krenraid's our master magician."
oh, well,
and everything from him.
Well, Professor Mulek, Professor Krenraid, it's a pleasure to meet you both. I look forward to your lectures. Okay, I gotta get to class. Bye-bye. And
Ace your chests.
he waves and he trots off.
All right,
What did you tell him,
Fractal.
Krenraid?
Oh, sorry. So, right. I want to go speak to like somebody who's good with all those kind of mini versions of beam versions of me kind of thing. And he says that fractology is the play to go. So I think we need to go find whoever that was.
Yes, you see several different names on there, and you see one professor, and this is a type of name that you are not familiar with, but you see the name Professor Garah. Is a professor of fractalology.
All right, so I'll start heading out and trying to.
There's a directory. There's a directory. Krenraid probably starts to call out, but one of the others sees there's a directory, and it looks like Professor Garah has offices on the 3rd floor of this building.
Oh, thank you guys. Well done. Are you guys happy to go do this very quickly? I don't want to take up your day off.
Felix is just
It's indifferent. He's just following the crowd. He's contemplating.
Okay,
Get ready to-
we'll be real quick.
I think you make good choices most of the time.
I am very smart, it's true.
Absolutely, good buddy. He just pats you on the back. Kind of looks over at Thaldor. Gives him a wink.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see where this goes. So that's why the outdoor's been quiet, you know.
Okay, so you go up to the third floor and you see, there's at every floor there are smaller and smaller directories, and there's little arrows that tell you which corridor to go down. And you go around this kind of curving corridor on the outside of the tower, and you eventually come to this office. It's office number 317, and that's where you should find Professor Garat. And indeed, there's a little brass plaque next to the door that says Professor Garat Fractalology. And the door is opened. And as you walk in, at first you don't see anybody in this office, but there's this enormous mahogany wood desk there, and that is takes up a good portion of the office. And on 3 walls, this office is just lined with books and scrolls. There's some areas up above the bookshelves where there are paintings. These rooms have ceilings that are like 20 feet tall, and the bookshelves go up to about 10 feet. And then the paintings and tapestries and stuff are on the other 10 feet of wall above the bookshelves. And then you notice behind the desk there is a frog. Well, it's not exactly a frog. It is a kind of a humanoid, blue-skinned frog creature that has these bulbous amphibian eyes. And this creature appears to be, instead of sitting in a traditional office chair, is sitting on a pedestal that has a large, like, probably 30-gallon tub of water. And this frog is sitting half submerged in the water, and with its 4 legs up on the desk. And then there is a little globe, a shimmering globe off to the side, and it seems to be a globe that the edge of it is described by kind of a globular magical field of some type that just sort of shimmers. And the frog blinks its black eyes, looks at you, looks back down, and then kind of halfway opens its mouth, and this long tongue shoots out of its mouth into the edge of the globe and pulls back. And when it pulls back, it has this enormous beetle on the tongue, and it just then starts crunching the beetle noisily as it chews. Crunch, 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 crunch. And then it kind of does this exaggerated sort of swallowing, and as it swallows, those black eyes sort of close, and they almost like sink into the head, and then they come back, they open back up, and they say, and the frog says in a very kind of distinct accent. It says, "Hello, I am Professor Gra. How may I help you?"
Oh, greetings, Professor Gra. I am Professor Krenraid. It's nice to meet you. I'm also a finger waggler, right? And I've been doing things that involve a lot of your factology kind of stuff, right? And I was wondering if maybe you could give me some advice because I'm a bit stumped on something. If you got 5 minutes, I can see you're very busy.
Oh, well, I am just preparing some notes for tomorrow's lecture. I have some time. Please, ladies, gentlemen, have a seat. Anywhere. And you see there are several chairs and like a little couch over there. But there's like 3 chairs right in front of the desk, and he, or Gara, points to the chair, because it's like you can't tell, is this a boy frog or a girl frog? It doesn't. There's really no. Yeah, there's no way of really telling.
That doesn't matter, Conrad.
Yeah. So the frog person is there and says, "Professor Krenraid, I don't believe I've heard that name. Are you new on campus?"
Yeah, I only arrived yesterday. Some student called me Professor Krenraid, so I think that's my title.
Are you here to? You here as a visiting scholar or a lecturer?
I believe I'm doing a lecture on stone. I think that's been asked now, but I'm more here with my friends, to tide over until we got to go do some more adventuring. So I guess I'm an adventurer. He looks at Faldor.
Oh, you are an adventurer. Well, yes. It's always refreshing to meet adventurers. We here in the Ivory Tower, we deal with the theoretical side of magic so much, but you really get a chance to put magic into action out in the field. It is so refreshing to get that perspective from time to time. Yes, well, you were saying that you have been dabbling in some fractalology, and you have you've come up with a bit of a puzzle. How can I be of service?
Right, so my good friend Mulek over there, and I'm pointing over to Mulek, he taught me everything I know about finger waggling, right? And it's very, very cool what you can do with it, right? But whenever I do this, and he's going to stand up off the chair, and he's going to get a bit of room, do you mind if I just cast a spell here? Trust me, it's nothing mean.
Well, this room is warded against any destructive spells.
Perfect. Okay, and he's going to he's going to hold the ring forwards, and he's going to say, "Copy," like Mulek told him to. But instead of casting Mirror Image, he's instead going to do this. He's going to accidentally manifest his echo. So, what happens is that... So he's trying to cast this. He's trying to cast Mirror Image, but he fails and accidentally manifests his echo. And what happens is he says, "Copy!" And instead of the magic coming out of the ring, the magic starts emanating from Krenraid himself. And another version of Krenraid will appear exactly where his finger was pointing. But this one is on fire. This one is radiant fire kind of blitzing out outside of itself, right? And Krenraid's going to look at it. And he's going to look at himself. And he's going to look at Professor Frogra. And he's going to say, so like, yeah, I'm casting this spell, I think. Like, it lets me copy myself, right? And I want it to be able to do more than just, follow me around. Like maybe like when I wave at it, it'll wave back. And Krenraid waves at it and it waves back. And he thinks to himself, wait a minute. Yeah, Professor Froggle, you're a genius.
And Gra, just one of those eyes kind of looks around at each of the rest of you, and the mouth kind of has this confused, almost frown on its face, like, what kind of person am I talking to? Is what he says.
Professor Garroy, you're a genius. Let me shake your hand. I don't know how you did that. It's amazing. So now if I do this, then I can do this. Oh, you've just solved my problem. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could help. So, Professor Mulick, it is. Professor Mulick,
I'm not a professor.
oh, you are an adventurer.
Yeah, just me. I'm not a professor.
Well, you have a bit of a look of the scholar about you. I just am curious what brings you to Strixhaven between your travels.
Well, it's a bit of a planning stop for us. And while Mulick's saying this, I'm kind of looking at Cranraid, and I'm thinking, you can tell, like, I'm, from some of the teachings that Abinadom had shared with Mulick, he's going to recall something that was mentioned from Abinadom's travels, and just looking at Cranraid and seeing what he had just done. Mulick's going to be kind of confused and wondering, like, how in the world did Kren know how to do what he just did? And while he's thinking that, he's going to have this conversation. So, have you ever heard of the wizard Mordenkainen?
Oh, Mordenkainen. Yes, he is. I believe he is in residence at Lorehold right now. Yes.
Yeah, so we have some business with him, and he said this would be a good place to conduct it, and we have a little bit of time, and Kren wanted to come over here and see what exciting things were happening over here, and we're just kind of letting Kren do his thing. And I'm this is my first time here, so I'm just kind of taking it all in.
Oh, well, certainly. Anyone who is a friend or companion of Mordenkainen is certainly welcome. Boy, the tales of his exploits are legend across all the known planes of existence.
Yeah,
I understand several of. I understand some of his famous colleagues are at Lorehold as well.
So, tell me about Lorehold. What do you know of this location?
Oh, Lorehold. Lorehold is the College of Archaeomancy. Basically, that means the exploration of ancient things through magic. The scholars at Lorehold explore the past by poring over archaeological sites, calling forth magical energy from old tomes, summoning the spirits of long-dead historical figures. Lorehold mages are probably among the most widely traveled across both this world and the known planes of existence. They gather relics of bygone ages and learn dead languages to unpack the secrets of history. So it doesn't surprise me that Mordenkainen would be drawn to Lorehold. Obviously, he is as much a study of the history of magic as just about any other wizard living or dead.
Seems like you could find a lot of secrets.
Yes, definitely. The among the colleges at Strixhaven, probably Lorehold and Prismari are the two that deal with history. Lorehold deals with the history of learning through magic, and the Prismari more deals with the history of the use of magic in the arts. It's a bit more focused on the visual and other sensory arts.
Yeah, I feel like my head's going to explode being in this place. I feel like I could just live here forever.
Well.
Learn much.
Well, as someone who is an active adventurer, when you decide to retire from adventuring, your experiences would make you very popular with many of the different professors in many of the colleges. You could probably finagle your way to perhaps even a full tuition and full scholarship if you wanted to pay for your time by just discussing different aspects of the magic that you encountered on your travels. I mean, that is, if you've attracted the notice of Mordenkainen, then everybody would want to know what sort of things you have seen.
Well, he praised Mulek as well for his great magic, so definitely a great magician.
Let's just say that we're dealing with a nasty cult, and we're trying to get as much knowledge and power to overcome.
Yes. Lorehold would be the place to find that. Once you get a beat on it, you will better be able to discover what sections of the great biblioplex, the library in the center of the main campus. But if you try to go into the biblioplex without first focusing what you wanted to do, you would literally just get lost there. It is I have heard of some large libraries, and I know that, well, it is said that on some of the planes they worship deities of knowledge that are said to have their entire domain is nothing but gigantic libraries. But the biblioplex here is the largest library I have ever seen in the few worlds that I have traveled to.
It's a lot of info.
Yes.
I'm sorry I had to step away really quick. Did you? What happened with Crenraid?
Oh, I did it.
Oh, you did it?
Sorry, I didn't know you weren't. I accidentally cast the Echo instead of the mirror image. It's a fiery version of him.
Right.
And he thought that if Frogra, Professor Gura, is the one that did it. So he thanked him, shook his hand, and now he's playing rock, paper, scissors with his double. And obviously every single time he's losing / winning.
Wow. So yeah, Thalor just looks over at Mulek. And the professor admitted he didn't do that, correct?
The professor clearly didn't know what to make of that. Yeah, the professor had no idea. What.
I look at Mulek. Mulek, do you have any idea what's going on here in Elvish so that he don't understand?
Yeah, I just quickly whisper back. I think I do, but I'm confused as to how Kren did that.
I'm curious as to how he came about this magic, because it wasn't you and it wasn't me.
Yeah.
The professor will reply to you all in Elvish, and will say, he didn't look like much of a wizard, but is that a ring of spell storing I see on his finger?
And Mulek will respond back and say, it is, but what he just did not come from the ring.
I see. Yes. I would presume he's the muscle of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much 95% muscle, 5% everything else. Yeah.
He has a big heart, though. He's a good guy.
Oh, yes. Some of my best friends could not cast a cantrip to save their souls, but if you need something moved, you want one of them to come by, as they can lift up just about anything.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate this a little further. And this is all in Elvish. We have to investigate this a little further to see what's going on with Grinraid. Because I'm shocked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes. Maybe you can get him to give a lecture on it, and he kind of gives you all a little smirk, and then as you go back to talking, that tongue comes out and it sort of licks one eye and then it licks the other eye, and then he looks over at that globe, and the tongue darts out and grabs another one of those beetles inside that globe, and he munches on it again. And he seems content for you all to hang out there, or if you all are done, he's not going to keep you.
Conrad's trying to feed his double right now, but all the food just keeps going straight through it, so he's picking it up and putting it back in his mouth.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's. Maybe we should leave here and do a little bit of shopping.
Sounds good to me.
Does that sound good to me? Yes.
Mulek's basically thinking, I need to get Cranraid out of here. For now.
All right. Well, enjoy your stay at Strixhaven. Thank you for dropping by. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you, Professor Garrar, for answering my question and doing that for me. You're a great wizard. You're a great Fingerwaggler. Be very proud of yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Professor Crenraid.
He was so smart, wasn't he, as he's leaving the door?
Are you talking to yourself?
Yeah, he's talking to his echo.
Gosh, okay.
I just keep staring at his echo. Is Faerun still with us?
I presume he is.
I sit there and it's like, Faerun in Elvish. What the hell do you think that is?
I didn't want to take too much of your time with that, guys. I apologize, but
No, that was great.
I had to take advantage of the location, the level up. It just had to be done.
So
No,
should we go? I mean, we got a lot of gold and platinum and stuff. I mean, we're in a pretty magical place. I think we might have great opportunity to maybe beef ourselves up before we leave this location.
Yeah, I probably could use an item or two. I was really thinking hard about one of those magical tattoos, though, if it's in the right price range.
What kind of tattoo are you thinking of?
I have to see the list if it's able to be done, but something that would help me stay hidden, maybe see in the dark, something that way. I mean, that way I don't have to use these big goggles of night anymore, you know. They were a great present from my uncle, but I need something a little bit more discreet.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, these goggles aren't the best because I got the same pair you do.
So I mean, there's got to be something that could help us. I don't know. I'll do some poking around while we're shopping. Maybe ask.
All right. Well, I guess let's go find a place.
Sure.
Right behind you guys.
Right. I look back and I see Crin's double and him.
He's hiding behind the double. He's making it sound like he's the one talking.
Right. Surprised you don't have the double up on your shoulders, but yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Oh, piggyback. And he tries to jump on the back of the double and just goes through it.
I look over at Valiger and Mulek both and said, I think he's having too much fun with this. I'm just curious how he did it.
We're gonna have to have a little chat with him tonight, and
sounds like fun.
Figure out what's going on because this reminds me of something Benedom had told me about some of his travels, and I'm kind of surprised to see Crenraid do it. Yeah, it's very puzzling.
Maybe you rubbed off on him a little bit. You know what I mean?
I don't even know how to do what he just did.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe your magic rubbed off on him, you know? It's not uncommon.
Did he eat some kind of magical bacon at that place we were at this morning?
I have no idea. The bacon tasted fine to me. I can't do nothing.
Well, if this is what I think it is, it's powerful, and we may have to train Kren on how to use it.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, we're let's go find these shops. Where are these shops located?
Okay. Most of the shops, the 5 shops that were put up in Discord earlier in the session, those are all in the central campus area. So they are not specifically labeled on the map, but they're just in that area. So you go back towards the central campus, and there are 5 different main magical shops. And when I say shops, they're kind of like it's kind of like a almost like a bazaar in each of these shops, where they focus on one kind of item, but there are several different types of items there. The first one is the Strixhaven Spirit Shop, which has a wide selection of non-weapon, non-armor magic items. Then there's the Strixhaven Scroll Works, which is the scroll shop. The Brew Labs, which has the potions. The Strixhaven Forges, which sells magical arms and armor. And when you go by that place, you realize it's not strictly metallic armor, because they also have magical vestments and magical leather armor and things like that. And then Strixhaven Reagents is basically where you go to buy the bulk components that you need in order to cast some of your spells, if you are a spellcaster that uses material components.
So I'm interested in checking out the magic shop. Anyone, the magic item shop? Anyone interested in joining me?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
All right, let's head over.
Okay, so the Strixhaven Spirit Shop. You go in there, And you find this store. The proprietor of this store is a female elf, and her name is Sorel Marar. And she says, "Oh, welcome. No, you all appear to be non-traditional students. How can I help you?"
Good day. How are you?
"Oh, I'm well.
So, me and my friends here are looking for some items, and one thing that I've got that has been very useful for me is, as you can see, and I hold out one of my bag of tricks. Are you familiar with? I assume you're familiar with what this is. This bag of tricks.
Oh, yes. That is an item that many first year, well, usually not first year because first years can't usually afford it, but second and third year students, they sometimes will have those, and they play pranks on their classmates with those creatures. But yes, so it looks like it's in wonderful condition. You say you've used it.
So I've used it. It's come in handy, and I've grown quite fond of the creatures in my bag of tricks. But as we continue to face more stronger threats on our adventures, I'm trying to see if there is a way, if you know of a way or know of someone who may know of a way to make this bag of tricks a little bit stronger. Either maybe stronger creatures or make my creatures stronger.
Oh,
That's possible. I figured if of any place, this would be a place that could possibly do it or know of someone who could do it.
Ah, I see. You are an adventurer, and welcome to my shop. Students, non-students, adventurers, faculty are all welcome here. Well, off the top of my head, I do not know of any enhancements. Of course, there are several different varieties of bags of tricks. And I need to start looking at some things here.
Sorry, I put that in the chat so I wouldn't forget, but that's what I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Check that out, Grenade.
Yeah, the tattoos are awesome. A lot of flavor to them too, which is fun.
No,
Yeah.
This one would definitely be awesome for me. Read the description.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you have the tan bag of tricks. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
and they're all uncommon. So yeah, they yeah, none of these really.
Yeah,
She
out of
doesn't.
character. Yeah, out of character. I'm just trying to see if there's a way to make my bag. I know you had mentioned earlier that there may be ways to strengthen these things, and so that's kind of what I'm, to get higher level creatures or whatnot. And so that's basically what I'm.
She doesn't know of anything. However, she says that at the, let me just double check what the mascot mascots. Where are mascots in this thing? Oh, there we go. Yes. She says that at the Prismari College, they have a form of magic where they create creatures of living magic that are called mascots. And she says that if any scholars have studied something about, bag of tricks, enhancing a bag of tricks, or modifying a bag of tricks, you might want to check with somebody at the Prismari. Now, she says that now to be fair, the mascots that they manifest are typically very very colorful and very flamboyant. So if you are looking for something that is stealthy, like a natural creature, you're probably not going to find it. But who knows what they may be able to do.
Okay.
With
well, it's worth
yes,
worth checking out. Thank you for that info.
Sure.
Do you mind if I just walk around your shop and just take a look at all that you've got?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. And Felix just kind of step to the side and start looking around.
Yeah. Then she turns and looks at the next person and says, "How can I help you?"
Would you might know where I could get some magical tattoos?
Oh, yes. Prismari is quite popular today. There is a shop on the where are... Oh, come on. All right. Okay. There is a... Oh, geez. There is one over in the Prismari campus. There is a shop called the Glass Brush. It is a tattoo shop, and they specialize in magical tattoos similar to those that are used by rune knights. Yeah. Different,
Interesting.
but yes.
Now she only has she don't have magical weapons. She just has magical items in this shop.
Correct. She will direct you to the Strixhaven forges for magical weapons and armor.
Does that include cloaks and rings and things like that, or does she have those?
She does have some cloaks and rings and those types of things. Cool. But anything that would be armor, like bracers or, cloth armor, leather armor, metal armor, that would all be over at the forges. Yeah, shields would be at the forges.
I think Grenray's got some ideas, unless someone else wants to chime in.
Yeah, I'm done here.
Well, I used to have a friend, right? His name was Basil, right? And Basil loved to get drunk. And he had these 2 items, right? Oh, sorry, my name's Crenray. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Master Conrad.
He had these 2 magical items, right? And he called it the Amulet of the Drunkard and the Tankard of Plenty. And it was amazing, right? Because this tankard, it just refilled itself. And whenever he drunk it, whenever he got into a bar brawl, he just instantly get better. Like, he would just feel alive again and be healthy again. I don't suppose you've got those, do you? I have a friend who's like a brewer, and I think you'd like him.
Oh, Amulet of the Drunkard and a Tankard of Plenty.
Yeah.
Let me see. Now, you all are adventurers. Normally, if you were students, I would not sell you either of those items. Yeah. There we go. So there's Tankard of Plenty, and there's.
Well, I might be able to just do this.
Okay. Nope, I've got him. So
yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's a common item, and that's probably also a common item or uncommon item. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Okay. She actually does have. She actually does have a Tankard of Plenty in the Amulet of the Drunkard. Yeah, let me roll over here on this table. Yeah, I think she's probably got one of those too. Let me see. I need my DMG. I need the 2 items. Okay. So, Amulet of the Drunkard is an uncommon item. That is okay. That would be. She would sell that to you for. Because of what it does. Yeah. She would sell that to you for 400 gold pieces. Because that's a pretty useful item.
Oh, in combination with the Tankard of Plenty, it's amazing, but I also think it's really good flavor for Tack. I mean, obviously it'd be good for Cremroad as well, but he's a literal brewer. I enjoy a glass of mead, but he's a literal brewer. So I get the feeling it's the perfect thing for Tack. And it doesn't require attunement, so you can just have it.
Yep. All right. Put that in the magic item pricing. And then the amulet, or that's the amulet. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. I put that wrong. It's the Amulet of the Drunkard. All right. Then the Tankard of Plenty. We might have priced that because I think in the Sunday game, one of the players has that, or one of the PCs has that. Oh, whoops. Let's do this. Let's go. Yeah, Tankard of Plenty is 80 gold pieces.
There you go, so 480 for tax stuff, lovely. Grand stuff. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll definitely pick up those. I think Tack will enjoy them. So I'll just add them and I'll tell her about them next week.
Okay.
Drunkard. Pay for that now.
All right.
And then, in terms of stuff for, well, I'm just going to keep rattling off stuff I think the group might find useful and fun. I don't want to drag the session up too long for doing this, but I think these are all things that people enjoy, so I feel like I have to mention them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, we only got a few minutes left anyway, so.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Well, do you want to do a bit of role play and we could just do this over chat?
You can roleplay some of this.
Yeah,
we could RP some of this, and also if you guys have ideas that come up during the week, you could throw them in the Discord, and I could research to see if I've already priced them somewhere. If not, I can put them in the magic item pricing and then let you know what they are, so that we can do more of this shopping next week in character, or we can just head on to the sort of briefing of what your next mission is going to be.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think this week everyone just kind of plug in, tell Gallibon what you're interested in, and then you can let us know. Yeah, we can role play that, or this is how much it would be, and then we could decide. Yeah, let's go ahead and role play it, and that should save a bunch of time and be fun to do. So
agreed.
Yeah, works for me.
Well, it was just one thing, right? So my friend, again, this is Basil again. He was quite the wonderful magical man, right? He was a halfling, so he wasn't quite, dowery, but he was still pretty clever.
Ah, okay.
He had these deck of cards, right? And if he pulled something from the deck of cards, it could be like you can become something, right? Like, say, you'd lob a card on the ground, and then boom, there would be a bugbear just there, right? It would look a bit weird, but it was a bugbear. I suppose you've seen anything like that. I think he called it a deck of illusions.
Oh, deck of illusions.
Like in the Discord. Like easier.
Yeah. So that is also an uncommon item.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh.
Good for distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know a few of us that could make fun use out of this. I get the feeling it's more fallacious thing, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Well,
maybe not. Faldor, yeah.
He's trying to sneak somewhere. He could throw a card to cause a distraction.
Well, that's what I'm thinking as well. I think it's maybe actually more Faldor. The Pipes of Haunting are definitely more fallacious. Yeah.
Yeah, that is okay. Now let me. Okay, all right. So these are. I had to check to verify each card is a one-use item. So it's a deck of expendable items. Ooh, 34 illusions. Wow.
Both jokers represent you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that feels like that needs to be figured into the pricing. The fact that it's so many of them. Let's do. Let me pull up this.
But the question is, would she have a full deck?
Another question, yeah.
Because it says the decks are usually found and are missing cards.
Yeah. Let me see. Call high or low?
High.
Ball. Okay. All right. So, She has one. It is a partial deck. It is missing 4 of the cards. And so basically, the way I'm going to determine which cards are missing is every time you use it, I'm going to roll a die. And it's going to be, or I will determine which 4 are missing, and then she'll charge you for the deck. It's 20 gold per card. Ooh. So it's 600 gold for the entire deck. Ooh. Now, that's a little bit out of the normal price range, but consider that you're getting 30 illusions.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty great. I think for a certain... I mean, it's so useful outside of combat and even in combat. I feel like it's something to think about. So I think this is more of something for Faldor. I think James is right. So have a think about that. Wasn't happy to pay for it.
I'll think about it because I still got to see how much the tattoo's going to cost me.
Exactly, yeah. I think we should leave it in the list for now.
Mm-hmm. It ain't like we're leaving. We can always come back.
There was one other thing that Basil used. This Basil was a real kind of chappy chap. He used to have this called Earring of Message, which is, this thing right here. Let me just show you my card. Here we go. This was a wonderful item, right? Because he could, point at somebody and they'd receive like a message in their brain. And between you and me, my friends back there like talking in different languages to each other. Sometimes they think I can't understand them and they're right, I definitely can't. But I feel like maybe this might be like an easy way for them to do that because they could talk to each other without having to use their mouths.
Ooh, that is a cool item.
Yes. Yes, I have several of those. They each have these blue crystal stones. You can see one of them is this little stud here. One is a little chandelier style, and one is sort of a little modest dangly earring. What would you be more interested in?
Faldor, Mulek, what do you think? Like, which one of these do you like?
I'd rather go for the stud than the dangly earring.
Could we make it into like a necklace or something so they don't have to wear it on their ears?
Oh, well, you could try it on a necklace, but I believe that the magic in it is of such a nature that it has to be very close to one's ear.
Yeah, very clever, yes.
Yes. But in any case, the Earring of Message, that is 65 gold pieces.
65 gold pieces. Well, I think that's a lovely price for such a fun item. We'll definitely take the stud, and we'll let my friends think about the other bits.
Well, I'd gladly purchase one for Mulek if he wants one.
I don't know the style suits, so you gotta choose that now as well.
Doesn't matter. I like the stud idea, but he could pick whatever he wants. But it is something handy for me because I could whisper messages to anybody. It don't have to be the other person wearing another ring.
Correct.
Earring.
And they can
right.
and they can respond in a message only you can hear. So you guys are very cleverly trying to talk to each other in the background of conversations, like trying to keep it to yourselves, which I think is really clever, and this just emphasizes that.
Yeah, I don't need it.
I'll buy it and I'll use it because he can respond to messages if I send it to him.
Yep.
And okay. I'll buy the earring. I'll do 65 gold out of my inventory.
All right.
Perfect.
Add that. Yeah, that's actually pretty smart. Good going there. Out of character, Paul.
For you, it's valuable because you're the one sneaking off and then can send messages back.
Yeah.
Hey,
All
Valdor,
right.
Valdor,
go ahead.
Did you? Well, I can do it during the week since we're past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're a few minutes over. And I want to be sensitive to people that may have a hard cutoff. So.
Yep. My apologies.
All right. Well, players, thank you guys for joining us. Sorry that Heather was having weather problems out there in Nebraska land. And we are glad that the rest of you were able to join us this evening. And viewers, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you are new to us, this is an ongoing campaign. We have been at this now for a number of different sessions. Usually we're on Thursday nights, but we have had a change in schedules among our players, and so it made more sense to move the game to Wednesday nights. So we will be here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can find all the archives of our show over on the YouTube channel. Now, in the coming week, there is another game on this channel coming up on Sunday afternoon. It's the Planeswalking 5th edition game called The Walker of Waterdeep. And in that campaign, the PCs are all planeswalkers that travel to different planes inspired by Magic the Gathering. Then on Monday, I do a solo show called Monster Monday, where we detail a monster from one of the 5th edition source books and talk about its history. And right now, we are looking at monsters that come out of the Strixhaven source book. So join us Monday night, 8 p.m. for that. Then next Wednesday, we'll be back for Sword Coast Chronicles. Friday, I'm going to try to release a Lore Friday on the YouTube channel. So we're going through the different adventures out of the Abyss campaign and looking at ways you can use those adventures separately in your own homebrew campaigns, as well as teasing apart the different elements and how those might inspire ideas for your own homebrew games. And before we leave, Paul and Michael, I want to give you guys a chance to talk about things that you are doing between now and next Wednesday. Paul, do you have anything coming up?
The only game I do have that isn't on a hiatus because people are ill or have real life issues is a conflict. So what I am going to say instead is just come and watch Galabond again. This guy's a great guy.
Well, thank you. And Michael, you have anything going on in your on your channel this week?
I've been kind of on hiatus, getting ready to start work.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm sorry. I had it on push to talk and it was running in the chat. My bad. No, I just variety of games. Might stream something this week before I start work, and if I do start streaming regularly again, it'd probably be either only on Tuesday or Wednesday during the day.
Okay. All right. Yep. On the days off. Okay. Well, yeah. Check out Michael over on twitch.tv/Doorsosphere, and and Paul is here, and when his other games kick back in, he will let you know where those are and when those can be seen. And then as for me, everything that I do is archived over on my YouTube channel, so you can check that link and go over there and see them. All right, everybody. Before we take off, I am going to take a peek here, see if anyone is streaming some D&D, and we will go and raid them. And whoops, no, not that one. No, come on. That one. There you go. Yeah. Kinelink. Looks like Kinelink is running Frostwind Ale. Oh, that should be interesting. So we'll go check out Kinelink. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Have a great evening, and we hope to see you next week. And we hope to see you on more of the streams. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Ta-ra.
Right, and we are raiding in 3, 2, 1. Raid!